spent days, maybe even weeks crafting the perfect YouTube video, you hit that publish button, and then crickets? Yeah, if you've been there, you are definitely not alone. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the 2025 YouTube algorithm. We'll show you how it really works, and way more importantly, how you can start working with it.
All right, let's just tackle the big one right out of the gate, the question that keeps creators up at night. Is this whole thing just some mysterious machine playing favorites with a handful of channels? I mean, it can sure feel that way, right? But what if I told you it's not a black box? What if it's a system with one single crystal clear goal that you can actually understand? The answer is flat out no. See, at its core, the YouTube algorithm isn't out to get you. It's a recommendation engine. Its entire mission, its only job, is to find the perfect video for the right viewer at exactly the right time. The goal is just to keep people happy, keep them watching, that's it. Okay, let's really dig into this, because it's a huge mindset shift. The algorithm isn't really judging you as a creator. It couldn't care less. What it's judging is the viewer's reaction to your video. It's all about them.
And this right here, this is an incredible opportunity. The algorithm does not care if you have 10 subscribers or 10 million. Every single video you post gets a clean slate, a fresh start. And you know what that means? It means an amazing video from a brand new channel can absolutely crush a mediocre one from a massive creator. Performance is everything. So the big question is, how does YouTube actually measure that performance? Well, it listens for specific signals. You can think of these signals as the language the algorithm speaks. And if you want to tell it that your video is valuable, you've got to learn to speak its language.
And here they are, the big three. First up is click-through rate, or CTR. The algorithm is basically asking, when we show people your thumbnail and title, do they actually click on it? Simple enough. Number two is watch time. Okay, so they clicked. Now what? How long do they actually stick around and watch? And the third, this one's key, is session duration. After your video ends, do they stay on YouTube to watch another one, or do they just close the app?
Now, all three of these are absolutely critical. You need them all. But one of them carries just a little more weight than the others. One of these signals tells YouTube not just if a viewer liked your video, but if your video made them love YouTube just a little bit more. And this is the whole game right here. Session duration is king. Think about it from YouTube's perspective. If your video is the last thing someone watches before leaving the platform, that's a huge red flag. But if your video sends them down a wonderful rabbit hole of more content, well, that's the ultimate green light. You're helping YouTube achieve its goal. So let's see how this all comes together in the recommendation system. Once the algorithm sees those positive signals that people are clicking, watching, and staying, it doesn't just blast your video out to everyone. Nope, it follows a very specific three-step process. Understanding this is the key to understanding how channels grow. It all starts with your core audience. These are your subscribers, the people who already know and love you. The algorithm shows it to them first. If they love it, we're talking high click-through rate, great watch time, your video graduates to the secondary audience. These are people who are interested in your topic, but maybe haven't heard of you yet. And if it performs well there too, boom, it gets pushed to the broad audience. And that, my friends, is how a video goes viral. Okay, so that's the theory. That's what's happening behind the scenes. Now for the fun part. How do we actually put this into practice? This next section is all about real, actionable strategies you can use to give the algorithm exactly what it's looking for. It all starts with building trust, and the way you do that is with consistency. Now, when you focus on one niche, create a uniform style for your thumbnails, and use a repeatable format, you're not being boring. You're teaching the algorithm. You're basically saying, hey, algorithm, this is who my content's for. And that makes it so much easier for it to find your perfect secondary audience. Here's a little gut check I want you to do. Look at your titles and thumbnails and be brutally honest. Forget that you made it. If you were just scrolling through your feed and you saw this video completely cold, would you click on it? If the answer is anything less than a resounding yes, you need to simplify and sharpen your promise. So, you got the click. Great. But now the clock is ticking. You have to deliver on the promise of your title and thumbnail, and you have to do it instantly. This means no long, rambling intros. No, hey guys, what's up? Get right to the point. The first 15 seconds have to prove to the viewer that they made the right choice. And here's a fantastic structure you can use for pretty much any video. Think of it as hook, hold, and handoff. The hook grabs their attention in the first few seconds. That satisfies the click.
The hold is the main part of your video, where you deliver value and sustain their engagement. That boosts your watch time. And finally, the handoff is where you lead them to another video, maximizing that all-important session duration.
Okay, here's a pro tip that a lot of people overlook. Did you know that YouTube doesn't just read your title and description? It listens. The system literally transcribes every single word you say in your video. So if you naturally weave your main keywords and related phrases into your script, you are spoon-feeding the algorithm, telling it exactly what your video is about.
All right, let's tie all of this together. Because beyond all the raw data, beyond clicks and watch time, the algorithm is trying to measure something much more human, much more subtle: genuine viewer satisfaction.
And it has a few ways of figuring this out. It looks at likes, sure, but it also looks at shares and even how often people rewind and rewatch certain parts of your video. It also uses those little surveys that sometimes pop up after you watch something. You see, a viewer who feels genuinely satisfied is way more likely to share your content, and a share is probably the most powerful signal of all. So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this: stop thinking about how to hack or beat the algorithm. The real path to growth is to align with its goal. Just focus on deeply understanding your audience, delivering consistent value, and creating satisfying videos that keep people watching.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. As you start planning your next video, don't begin with what you want to make. Start with this question right here. What is the one specific promise my video will deliver to my ideal viewer? If you can answer that clearly, you're not just making a video anymore. You're starting a conversation with the algorithm. Thanks for tuning in.